Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Bada. Welcome to My Way of Life. And today we got a series for you. It's going to be a 4 interview series where I talk to 4 different financial advisors who are incredible experts in their field, who just know more about life insurance, right? Personally, I just got myself a trainee financial advisor role, and I really learned so much about insurance that I felt like I wanted to share this with you guys so you guys can be educated on as well. Because one of the biggest things I realized is that no one who's young around my age knows anything about insurance. They don't know how it works, they don't know what it is. It's a very scary, fugazi cloud thing that none of us want to touch. And I just really want you guys to learn about it. So here it is. We're going to start off now, and it's gonna be 4 of them. Just make sure to watch, make sure to follow along, because these interviews are fully loaded with gems of information that you guys should really know. So let's get into it and have some fun with it. Let's go. Woo. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is My Way of Life, or Wolbada, and today we have our guest, Pam. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Pam Venu. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for Coversure Financial Services.
Nice. So she's my boss.
And that too.
Yeah, she's very much my boss. She holds my life with her iron fist. Very lovely lady, by the way. So let's just get right into it. What were you doing before becoming a financial advisor, and what was the moment that changed your path towards that?
So before I feel like I've been working for years. So I left high school probably before you were born, which was quite scary. And I went and did real estate admin for a year, and that was really boring. And then I got a job in a pharmacy. So originally, so that's when my career started.
Oh, wow.
And I worked there for a good couple of years. I ended up managing the post shop side of the business. But here's a fun fact not a lot of people don't know about me, is that I'm actually qualified to dispense dispensary medicine. I'm a qualified pharmacy technician. Yeah. So I did that. And obviously, I don't do that anymore. So I worked there for a few years, and then I left there, and I worked my way up with the New Zealand Post. So I worked for New Zealand Post for about 16 years.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I did heaps of different projects. So I did, I've done marketing projects, wardrobe delivery. I've done all sorts of stuff. I was sent into post shops to fix them up when they didn't run as well as they should. It's like when managers were on leave or they had to leave, that sort of stuff. So I'd step in and run them a lot. Yeah. And then I did that for a really, really long time. And then obviously Jason started the business. COVID hit. I had 2 young kids at home. And I thought, I just don't think I can go back to work.
Yeah.
I did for a while, and I thought I could manage. But I got to the point where I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
and I'd had enough of the corporate life.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be and have the flexibility to be there for my kids, because I've got 2 boys. So Aiden's 10, Sam's 5. Yeah, that was really, really important to me, and important to Jace too. So I made the leap of faith. Sam was born in 2019, so it was about end of 2020 where I made the leap of faith and stepped out of my full-time job.
Yeah.
And went in and basically came to doing this.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess my turning point of when I thought this is for me was probably finding the role where, one, I could support Jace to build our empire, because it's really, really hard to be able to do things on your own.
Empire, I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like an empire. I don't mean it in like Darth Vader, I'm going to take on the world styles, but it's more around, we want to build something really great.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to do that as a team.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really important to us. But most of all, I really wanted something where I could be there for my kids.
Yeah.
Aiden had just started school, so I wanted to be the mum to be able to go to the swimming sports and athletics days and help out the PTFA. I wanted to be that mum.
Yeah.
But I also wanted a career.
Yeah.
I love to learn. I love detail. And because of the industry that we're in, it's heavily, as you know, it's heavily regulated.
Yes.
And that's also my background. So when I worked for New Zealand Post, I did a whole bunch of projects for New Zealand Post and within the bank, Kiwi Bank back in the day. So I've got a heavy compliance background. Yeah. So it made sense for me able to run that stuff of the business, because that's not Jason's strength.
Yeah.
That's mine. And we kind of make a team. Yeah.
Because insurance is a very regulated game, right? It's a lot of rules, and as it should be, right?
It should be, yeah.
Because you need that kind of level of integrity to do well in the space and to help the people in a sense.
100%. So the rules and regulations that came into the financial services industry came into effect in March 2022.
which is quite recent, don't you think? Considering how long insurance itself has been around,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It was not regulated well before that. So it wasn't just like, oh, as of this date, you have to be, these are the rules.
Yeah.
They did give businesses plenty of lead up time to be able to get them, all financial advisors had to be level 5 qualified.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff. So there's a big lead up to that. So I helped Jace build our business so we could be compliant from that point. And then that's kind of when I jumped into the business.
Oh, I see. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So I see. You're a big rules lady, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So if anyone's not sure
chop,
about the
chop.
role, I'm just like, that's...
Fun fact: when I first
Yeah.
joined the cover store as a rep, she was immediately like, "We don't play around with these rules. You got to stick to them. They really instill in us to really just be for the people, right? Do it right by them, and just be good, basically."
Yeah.
Well, you talk about making that leap of faith.
Yeah.
Once you've landed from that leap of faith, was there ever a moment where you were like, "What have I got myself into? It's like, what am I doing here?" And it's like, is there like a moment where you're like, "This is really scary. It's a lot," or was it like, were you just like kind of going straight from there?
I think it's because I really knew I wanted to do it. It wasn't scary. No, I think probably the scariest moment was when I've been used to being paid a weekly wage for the last 20 years, right? I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's quite scary. And that's a
Yes.
massive learning curve going from, that's probably I like to call it my oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm like, oh my God, can I do this? Because we're going off from having a steady income on the side, because I work full time and Jace is doing his thing. Can we do this? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're just going to do it.
So it's like both unstable
You know what?
now, right?
What's the worst that can happen, right? So people will always have those moments, those, oh shit, can I do this moments? Like, yeah, you can. If you fail, who cares?
Yeah. You get up and try again.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, let's get into more of the in field experience of being in insurance. Can you tell me about a time when helping a client made you feel like this is why I do this? Like this is it.
Yeah.
Could you tell me like a story? I'm sure you got many.
I got so many. Probably my first claim experience.
wow.
Yeah. As an advisor, you never forget your first. I guess people don't really forget their first of anything, but this particular client, she'd been with us for 4 or 5 years, had a really basic policy.
Yeah.
Just, life, trauma, and some medical.
Yeah.
Real simple. And she rang me up and she was diagnosed, obviously, with a form of cancer. Had her trauma claim paid out, had her private medical paid out. And unfortunately, she was diagnosed terminal. So then, obviously, we had paid out her life insurance was paid out. Yeah. So, sitting down with her and being able to hold her hand probably through the most crappiest time of her life and just her saying thank you. I'm like, this is why I do what I do. Being able to make a real impact to someone's life. I've had clients where they've rung me up and they said their child's been diagnosed with cancer. I'm like, okay, let's just do what we need to do and get you sorted, because obviously children are included on a trauma benefit.
Exactly.
So we're being able to pay out for that sort of stuff. Being able to, help clients when their children have passed away. It really puts it in perspective, like how much we do has such a positive impact. Yeah. All of them, yeah.
That's lovely. It's just, I can imagine when you're going through that, like the hardest time in your life, for us to be able to help them is like exactly why we do this, right?
Yeah, like you drop, I literally, so when I got that call about that particular client I was telling you about, I dropped everything. I arranged for someone to pick up my kids from school and I went up to the hospital because that's just what you do. Yeah. That's what a good advisor does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I remember you telling me, you were like, I love a good case. Like I love a good challenge, right? Something that's complicated and all these variables, and you really solving it and being able to then give these people who need help cover and all that good stuff. What's one case that really like tested your skills, but in the end like taught you something important, like taught you something new? Obviously, we can't tell the details about it, but is there anything specifically?
Yep. I have to have a good think about that one. So we had a client where she was always told she could never get life insurance. So she was told by everyone, oh, you can't get life insurance. She had basically a major heart. She had like a big heart problem. Yeah. And she had to have a pacemaker inserted where it regulates the heartbeat. And I'm like, nah, I reckon we can.
You got it.
And I said, look, I can't promise you anything, but I really enjoy a challenge and I like being able to push my boundaries with an underwriter. So yeah, it took us 6 months, but we got a cover.
Wow.
Yeah, and like no one else would touch her. And I said, don't matter what happens, don't let anyone cancel or move you because we literally cannot get you insurance with anybody else.
Yeah.
So it took me 6 months and we got it. And it was probably the most challenging case I've ever come across.
I see. What was that? Was there something specific you learned from that? Or was it just you just basically practicing your skills?
A couple of things. Never be afraid to challenge the status quo. It's probably a big one.
Yeah.
And never just accepting when people say no.
Yeah.
You know, always challenge it.
Yeah, always.
Why? Tell me why.
Yeah.
And give me a really good reason why. And if I don't like your reason why, then I'll get us keep going anyway.
Try again, exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. These are more, now we're going to go into more about your role as a COO, right? What were those like early days, like when the company was just starting? Like what roles and challenges did you have to take on?
Probably wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Because like Jace is my husband, he's the big dreams guy.
Yeah.
He's the ideas guy. I don't have that. That's not my strength.
Yeah.
My strength is being able to, get stuff working and get stuff moving, and so that's probably like I'm good at that stuff and he's not. Yeah.
So it's about like keeping the machine going.
Pretty much.
But Jason's dreaming about the next car, basically, kind of thing.
I think probably a big part of it was also having like when all the new rules and regulations come in, everyone had their own different version of what they thought the answers were. And no one actually really knew.
Yeah.
So you had to decipher out, well, what do I have to do and what don't I? Because people think you have to do all this stuff. I'm like, nah, I don't really think you have to. There's nothing, again, comes back to what I was saying before about challenging the status quo.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just accepting it just for what you think it is. Yeah.
And that helps you put yourself in a unique situation that's really advantageous that everyone else is not, right? Because you went against the status quo.
Yeah, it's not really going against. It's more around, well, if the rules say I have to do something a certain way, I'm going to find a faster, smarter way to do it. Because I'm just like, I'm not going to waste time on that when I could be going out and seeing clients. Or, doing something else with them that needs to be done in the business.
Yeah. We talk about keeping the machine running, basically. What was one like internal team challenge that you're really proud that the team overcame?
I think when we made the decision to have part of our admin support offshore, that's come with its own set of challenges. It's been a good one, obviously from a cost perspective because it is cheaper. Yeah. But we can service our clients outside business hours. So people don't want to be answering the phone during the day, right? Yeah. Yeah. So we can have people to service after hours. So that was probably quite a challenge because we've had to deal with, obviously, how they do things over there versus how we do things here and kind of merge it in the middle. Yes. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, now we're getting back into the more of the insurance side of things. What's the most surprising reason someone was glad they had trauma or medical cover?
So I think probably I'll use the children's cases. Yeah. That surprises a lot of people because they don't really realise that a lot of their trauma claims or trauma events for children are covered. Yeah. And they're like, oh, but my child was in intensive care for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's covered. Yeah. Or they don't actually kind of realise that they're really surprised they just didn't really have that. But it comes down to the fact that when they signed up to their original policy, because quite often people will just come to us for help. I don't really understand this. Yeah. So we'll sit down, we'll explain it to them. We kind of just take them under our wing and we just look after them. We become their servicing advisor. Yeah. We don't get paid for that. Exactly. But we just know that they're being looked after. And then, sitting down with them and going through like, hey, has anything happened to you in the last 3 years? Oh, yeah, I had a heart attack 6 months ago. Boom. Good. Well, not good that you had one, but, we're able to help you. Exactly. They would have never have known because no one bothers to help them. Yeah, so even like little instances like that, being able to sit down and review people's cover or... I can, you can top up your cover without having to go through underwriting, for example, because you got married 6 months ago. Great, cool, let's just go ahead and do that. Yeah.
I think that's the thing about like insurance reviews that a lot of people don't understand is people like getting insurance, they like saying they have it, but they don't really know what they have or what it covers and things like that. And so I'll have incidents where like I'll call someone up and like, hey, like, do you have insurance? And they're like, yes, I do. I'm like, oh, that's great. Who are you guys with? I don't know.
No idea.
What are you covered for? I don't know. And then I'm like, do you want to know about it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. Things like that happen, and it's like really important to at least just understand and be educated on of what insurance is.
Yeah,
right?
And it's not like people don't have to have everything.
Exactly.
Something is better than nothing.
Something is better than nothing.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, again, this is now we're going to go to the other side of. Can you name a time when someone like wished they had insurance?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot, clients have come to me too late.
Yeah.
They have, you know, I've had a heart attack 6 months ago. I can't help you.
Yeah.
Or, I've got too many health problems. I should have done it a year ago. Yeah, you probably should have. And there have been times where there's literally, I can't help you. And that's when they regret it.
Yeah.
When we can't help them.
Yeah.
They don't regret it when they're not paying for it, but they regret it when they find out that they've can't get
You
insurance.
can't get it anymore, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
very scary.
Yeah.
I think it's just it's one of those things where you in the moment you think you're invincible, right? It's like when you're healthy, when you're when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s even, you're like, I'm healthy. I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, things like that. I'm very healthy, but like life can throw you a curveball anytime, and then
100%.
and then you're just sitting there like, I really wish I had it, right?
Yeah, 100%. I've dealt with situations where I've had, a client's child has passed away and he's young. I'm just like, that shows it can happen at any time.
Yeah.
No one knows. You don't know what part of the plan is, right?
Exactly. What's a myth about insurance that drives you crazy?
That it's expensive. People have this misconception that it's expensive. It's not. It's probably just around getting a really good understanding, and that's what a good advisor does.
Yeah.
They're like my job as an advisor is to sit down with you, understand you, what's most important to you, and like what's your essentially what's your budget, what can you comfortably afford, and then we put a plan in place to be able to build up to that. You might not get everything you want on day one, but it's like a long standing, we review all the time, we catch up with you. I think probably the fact that it's expensive, and the other one would be they think that they can't get it because something's happened to them. That's not necessarily true either. Again, challenge, right? I like a challenge. So that's probably the two biggest ones. And just thinking that it's too expensive, or they can't get it because there's been something gone wrong with them. No.
I think insurance is not something that's like a one-off thing. It's something you build, right? As you just said, like you get something is because it's better than nothing. Like for me, example, right? I don't have a house. I don't have any dependents on me right now, which I'm planning to get insurance once I'm able to. Is that I will get something very basic. I get my life, I get my trauma, I get my specific injury. Boom, that's solid. Incredibly cheap. It would be. I don't want to talk about the numbers, but it's very cheap. And then as I move up in my life and I build my career and my income's a little bit better and I can afford it and I have more dependence on me, then I can start building on top of that. And it's a lot easier to build on top of it than to get it then, right? When everything's already set. Because everyone's like, I want to be in a position to get everything straight away. You don't have to. You can get something that's very small and then get underwritten, and then everything's done, and then you can just add on top of that and as you go forward, right?
Exactly. It's so much easier to get insurance when you're younger. Yeah.
This is another one. It goes on top of what we just talked about. If you could wave a magic wand and get everyone to understand the one thing about insurance, what would it be? Just everyone knows about it.
That's exactly what I want them to know. I want them to know about insurance because there's so many people that don't know anything.
They just know nothing.
They know nothing.
It's like magical cloud they don't want to touch.
Exactly. Because there's some people, depending on your background and everything, sometimes it's just not, it's a taboo subject that's not talked about. Death is a taboo subject that's not talked about. One, probably, if I could have two things to change. One, obviously, being able to allowing people to have that conversation. And two, knowing about insurance.
Just you want to instill that kind of curiosity about insurance in everyone, basically, right?
And understanding that insurance isn't boring. It's far from boring. Like the amount of the things that you can learn, and it's I'm a bit of a data geek. I could sit there for hours looking at different stuff, and
I think even for me, I've been only here for 2 months now almost, and I learned it's like I learn so much every day. I'm like, I have that. Oh, that's something new. Like every day, it's like I have a conversation with you. I have other team leaders. It's just like, that's interesting. That's pretty cool. You can get cover for that, or you can get this kind of benefit, things like that. This is more about you now. What's the one value or principle that's guided you through your career? It's like this one thing you hold on to that's really just about who Pam is.
Oh, about who I am?
Yeah.
Oh God, no. Everyone thinks I'm scary, but I'm not.
You're lovely.
See, that's what I tell people. He's got fear in his eyes. I think probably staying, having faith is probably, and not necessarily in God or a high power, but it's about having faith in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, don't let people think you can't do it, or and having faith in, for example, I've got a massive amount of faith in like you guys and my team and Jason and Nikki and everyone else, right? I have faith, and I've got faith that everything will be good, and we're gonna do some awesome stuff. Having faith and believing in yourself.
I think so. Yeah, I think just believing that things will work out, right?
100%.
Yeah, especially in this kind of line of work where you don't know what the next client is or next opportunity is. It's very vague, right? It's really, you gotta wake up in the morning and be like, all right, today's gonna be a good day. This week's gonna be good. This month, this year, it's gonna have that positive belief in yourself to really keep going.
Definitely.
I very much relate with that.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you just talked about you believing in yourself, but when in those moments when you're down and you're kind of doubting yourself, was there someone who believed in you to like that you could do it?
Yeah.
Or have you just never faltered?
No, I make mistakes all the time, believe me. I think probably, obviously Jason believes in me a lot, and I believe in him too. And that's kind of different because he's my husband.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe in your husband, then you probably shouldn't be married, right? But I think probably Jason's parents. So, when we started our business, like we were on one income, we just bought a house, and I was still only working part-time at that point because I was on maternity leave, and I just had Sam, my youngest, and they bankrolled us for 3 months when we first started our business. They helped us pay our mortgage.
Yeah.
Because we had the money.
Yeah.
So them believing in us from the start, 100%. Definitely my in-laws. Yeah.
I think it's just really important having that support system when you're trying out something new, right?
Oh,
it helps you move forward with so much more like easier and more energy, more like less fear in the back of your mind because you get that support, right? You could be able to go at it full force.
Yeah. And even my kids in a way, like my boys, they understand that, mum and dad, we can't be there all the time, but them believing in what we're doing makes a hell of a lot of difference as well. Like my 10-year-old, he kind of understands the concept of insurance. I said, we put insurance in place. He goes, what does that mean? And I explained it to him, but trying to explain insurance to a 10-year-old is a bit of a challenge. A 10-year-old with ADHD, by the way, so his brain's like all everywhere. Butterflies, right? He says, so like if someone passed away, mummy, you'd like give them money so then they'd be okay. I said, yeah, that's right. He goes, that's awesome job, mum. That's so cool. I was like,
oh, that's nice. It is awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So even having that as a support mechanism for myself, knowing that they believe in what we're doing too. Yeah.
Exactly. What would your younger self be surprised to know about where you are today?
That I'm actually here.
Oh, wow.
Probably. I had no intention. This was not part of my plan.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to do this. I didn't imagine myself being here. I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Indiana Jones, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, so I've gone from that to being a financial advisor.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so I probably, my younger self would be like, what the hell?
What is this?
What the hell is this?
What's going on?
They'd be very, very surprised. Yeah.
Well, to finish up, what is your message to anyone who's watching who's unsure if they need cover or unsure about their future and things like that? What is like one advice? Let's go with one insurance-based message and then one like life-based message as well.
Cool. So for insurance, I'd say just have a conversation about it. Have a conversation, whether it be with an advisor. Don't talk to your mate across the fence who thinks they know what insurance is about. Actually talk to someone who is qualified and knows what they're talking about. I can, right? One of us. Or, to be honest, any advisor. Because
anyone.
It doesn't matter, because what we don't want is people thinking that they know everything and they go talk to their mate and the mate says, oh, you don't need that, and then actually they do, because they're not qualified to deliver financial advice, right?
Exactly.
Talking to someone would probably be my first thing. And I guess probably brings me on to my life part as well, is actually talk to people. Don't be afraid to ask questions, Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Like, if we didn't put ourselves out there, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid to talk to people, because you don't know what they know.
It's like Nike, right? Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it, because we wouldn't be where we are right now if we didn't just go all in and just say,
let's try it out.
I'm not going to use swear words or profanity, but the word I'm thinking of, right? Yeah. So you just go ahead and do it. Yeah.
All right. I think that was a really amazing interview. I think yeah, it's a lot to learn from Pam, and I'm really excited to keep working under her and just learn more about insurance, and then be able to help people who are like yourselves, who are people who are watching. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Pam, for being here, spending your time
Welcome.
with me, and yeah, live life covered, guys. All right, thank you.